Hello everybody, welcome back to Flip City with Mr. Chris.
Hi, Mr. Chris.
And if it's your first time here, welcome and thank you for checking it out. I'm Mr. Chris. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make money on eBay by selling these used clothing brands. I'm going to give you real life examples from some of my top 20 sales last month on eBay. A little bit about me, I'm a part-time reseller. I source twice a week. Wednesday nights half off at Salvation Army. And Saturday or Sunday mornings, I go to the bins. So that keeps my average cost per item down pretty low, about $4. So let's jump right into some of this. Last month, my results were 106 sold items for a total of $2,880, which is an average sale price of $27.17. Let's take a look at what items I sold and how much I sold them for. As we look at these items, the sales price is going to go up until I get to my best item of the month. And then also I'm going to show you guys what they sold for. The sales prices are going to continue to go up until I get to my number one selling item. Also be on the lookout. There's some bolo brands in here and some pretty good items. So let's jump right into it. My first item I sold is going to be this pair of Cole Haan 0 Grand. Not a great size. You can see it's a size 7. They're wingtips, which gives it a little bit more style. They're actually a dark brown color, which is a little hard to tell from the photos. These sold for $32. Again, I'm not a huge fan of selling shoes because I don't like cleaning them and storing them. It's not as easy as clothes, but I do love making money. So if I find a pair of shoes and I can get them really cheap and I know that I could sell them for a decent price, then I'll definitely scoop them up. So the first one there, Cole Haan for $32. If you've watched some of my videos before, you know two things. One, I really like Ralph Lauren because it's a great selling brand. And two, I'm still trying to get into more women's clothes and expand my knowledge in that area so I have more items to sell. So right here is a Ralph Lauren. It's a women's full zip cable knit sweater. It's red and it has these gold details with the embroidery and the zippers. It was a pretty good sale. Sold for $30. Another thing I wanted to remind you guys is that I try to sell the items as quick as possible. So here's my goal, is to pick the items up for the least amount of money and turn them around and sell them as quick as possible so I can get that money back and reinvest it. Another thing that I do to help that is I've started promoting sales. So anything over 90 days in my store is 30% off. Anything between 60 and 90 days is marked down 20%. And all items over 30 days but less than 60 is going to be 10% off. And I usually accept fair deals just because I figure that once I get to about 90 days, obviously the item wasn't as good as I thought, so I need to get that money back and reinvest it into something that'll sell better. Alright, so let's see what the next item is. So this was a bolo from a couple videos ago that I just learned about. It's an outdoor brand. It's called, I think it's KUIU, KUIU. I don't know if I'll ever know how to say the name. It's just kind of this base layer t-shirt. Here's some of the logos you guys could be on the lookout for. It's like a ram's head. This one's got the mesh on the sides. This is a really basic item, but it's sold for $30. So be on the lookout for that brand, guys. KUIU. It's part merino wool too, so it makes it super soft. All right, this was another bolo, I think from about 2 weeks ago. It's called Path Projects. Let's see if I can show you the logo. There's the logo right there. Be on the lookout for those. They're very similar to Lululemon type material and cut and style. And they sold great for $40. So be on the lookout for those. They're very easy to miss because they don't really have a tag on the outside necessarily. So you just, well, I think there you can see. Let's see if we can get it better. There you go. Be on the lookout for that kind of arrow. Path Projects. Great brand. Actually, probably would have kept them if they were my size, but they weren't. $40. That was a great sale right there. Again, like I said, Polo Ralph Lauren. If you've watched some of the videos before, you know the 4 keys I'm looking for. The brand, right? The pattern. This is a crazy color block pattern. Pretty attention grabbing. The size. Not the best size here, medium, but it is a big pony, which is always a big seller for Polo Ralph Lauren items. And the material. This is kind of like a, just a track jacket, cotton, pretty basic, high neck. Sold for $34.88. I'm pretty sure I picked this one up for about $5. So that was a great turnaround. Any kind of Polo Ralph Lauren stuff with a big pony, with a good pattern, a large or extra large size is even better, but those are always going to sell really quickly. All right. Definitely not a brand I usually pick up, but sometimes if I know a brand is a solid quality and I find it new with tags, I just go ahead and scoop it up. This is a golf vest, perfect for the spring right now. Dunbrook, I'm sure you guys have heard of that brand. It's a soft shell vest, size large. Nothing super amazing about it. Nothing really stands out other than the new tag. This sold for $36. Dunbrook. It's a soft shell vest, perfect for golf in the spring. Okay, here's a brand you may or may not have heard about. It's called Roosevelt's, spelled R-S-V-L-T-S. Let's see if I can show you. There's the tag. You see the Teddy Roosevelt glasses and mustache in the tag. They make kind of like button-up shirts, usually pretty unique patterns. This is probably more the basic pattern. They have a lot of crossover patterns with like different brands and that type of stuff. This is a men's large, right? So the brand is good for the 4 keys, Roosevelt's. The pattern, got this crazy Hawaiian shirt pattern, perfect for the summer coming up in the spring. Good size large. The material is bamboo, right? So it makes it really soft. I've noticed a lot more companies going with bamboo as a material. And this one sold for $39.99, so that was a great sale. So keep an eye out for the Roosevelt's brand. All right, up next was this vintage 90s Marlboro cigarette adventure team jacket, extra large. I don't usually pick up vintage items. One of the first videos I posted, a short video, and somebody said, hey, you missed a Marlboro item. It actually wasn't a Marlboro item, but sometimes, you know the way the universe works, the very next time I went sourcing, ta-da, Marlboro jacket. So I went ahead and picked it up because obviously people were aware of it. You could see it does have some signs of wear and tear, some flaws. So I always make sure I take photos of those and I put them in the description. A hooded parka jacket, right? This is more of a one-off for me than something that I normally pick up. But like I said, I like making money. So if I know that it will sell, I'll definitely pick it up. And just like everybody else knows from the past videos, some of the ways that you find out if something is a new brand, is a bolo, or something that you should be picking up, right? Well, one, be curious. If it's a brand you've never heard of, but it seems like pretty good quality, take a look. Also, use Google Lens. It's your friend as a reseller. It will instantly, you take a picture of it, it's going to show you similar items on the internet. You can find listings on eBay, and it will really help you figure out quickly if it's a good item to sell or not. So I picked this item up. I really was not sure what it was, and I found out that it's like a hotel and nightclub, I believe, in Miami, called Live Fountain Blue. It's a double XL. It's kind of rare. It was unique. Black basic hoodie. Sold for $30. I had this one for a little while. You could see that I ended up marking it down from $60 to 50% off. But still $30 for a hoodie. I know that I got this at the Goodwill bin, so I probably paid about $2 for that. So even at $30, pretty good pickup. Probably won't see too many of those. All right, here's that other brand again, KUIU, right? This is more of a button-up shirt, a little bit nicer than a t-shirt. Hiking, kind of outdoor wear. This item sold for $40. You can see that you could easily overlook it. So look for that logo, KUIU. They usually have the Ram logo on it somewhere. Let me see if there you go, on the back right shoulder. It's a great brand to be on the lookout for, especially if you sell menswear or outdoor wear. $40 for a button-up shirt. I probably paid about $4.98 for this, so that was a great flip. Okay, I love soccer, so anytime I see a soccer jersey, I'm definitely interested. I took a look at this one. This is the Columbia National Team jersey. Pretty good color, yellow. Not the best size. It's a medium, but it is a little bit older, 2010, 2011. It was in decent condition. I believe it had one little... Did it have any? No, this one didn't have any flaws. A little bit of wear, right? This one I accepted an offer for $29.88, so a few dollars off, but still good pickup, easy to sell. As the summertime comes along, usually the national teams will be going on tours and playing friendlies, international friendlies, so people will be looking more and more for those. Here's another outdoor brand, very similar to Patagonia, North Face. It's a little bit nicer in my opinion. It's called Cotopaxi. It has this, I guess it's a llama, right, as their logo. This is just a really lightweight kind of day pack, travel pack, nothing fancy. It has a great brand, Cotopaxi. The pattern is great, attention grabbing with the color block. Material, not really a big deal, and obviously a size. Actually, this one has working for it that it's a smaller size, so it's easier to ship and pack. Very lightweight. It's great condition. That one sold for $34 for a lightweight backpack. So keep an eye out for Cotopaxi. You know I'm the bag man as well. I've said that before. I'll say it again. Don't overlook the bags, guys. Huge profits to be made and not as much competition. Okay, here's a brand everybody loves and knows, Lululemon. A lot of people say that the sales prices of Lululemon have been coming down, and I guess they have a little bit, but if you pick the right items, you could still sell them for a good amount. You can see, so for the brand, right, Lululemon, the material is just their standard material, nothing fancy about the pattern, just a basic long sleeve men's shirt, size medium. So really this only has like one or two of my keys that I'm looking for reselling items, and it's still sold for $42, right? So just a reminder about the keys. It's brand, pattern, material, and size. Not the best size, not the best pattern, still $42 for a Lululemon men's shirt. And I always got to make, this was great because it had the tag. Sometimes that little tag is ripped out. You see it's in really great condition though. Great pickup. There's the logo bottom left. Also, if you're looking for Lululemon, usually have the 3 lines right there on the upper shoulder seam. So $42 for a basic Lululemon t-shirt. Seems like Lululemon's still doing pretty good for me. This was the other KUIU shirt that I picked up. So in 1 month, I found a new brand and I already sold 3 items. Let's see. 1 for $30 and 2 for $40. So this is a great reselling brand. Keep an eye out, guys. I'm telling you, KUIU. You don't want to miss it. I don't know how often you'll find it. I only recently found it, so I'm not sure if it's something that's gaining popularity, but the resale value is great. A basic short sleeve button-up shirt. Really, it's kind of like a denim look. Size large, pretty good size, good brand. Good for the summer, $40, right? 5 into 40 is always wonderful. Okay, this was a new brand. Shout out to Colin, my son's friend. He got me onto this brand. Tailor Stitch. I think they make men's and women's clothes. Kind of basic wear. You notice a lot of these newer brands, right? They sell for a lot of money online, but the tags are super basic. There's nothing fancy. It doesn't really draw your attention, but the material is really nice. If you feel this, it's like a cotton, almost has a seersucker, like a thick seersucker feel to it. As you can see, like the built-in wrinkles or whatever you want to call that. Almost like a linen feel. It says double cloth, but it wasn't the best color or size. Still sold for $39.99. So Tailor Stitch is definitely a brand I'll be on the lookout for more often now. Okay, I don't usually do Disney, but there are a few items of Disney that I will pick up. Anything that's not basic, if it has a crazy pattern, I'll usually just go ahead and give it a quick Google lens and see if it's any value. The problem I have with Disney is it's saturated. The good thing that I've had luck selling for Disney are these Spirit jerseys, and this is like a Spirit jersey track jacket. Spirit jersey is it's a brand, but they also do these Disney shirts. Let's see if I can show you the tag. You see here it says Disney, and underneath it says Spirit jersey. And what it is they're these like oversized shirts and jackets, and they have the big spell out. This is kind of puffy paint on the back. They have themed ones, Halloween, Christmas, lots of color block. So if I'm going with my 4 keys, Disney, not a huge brand that I'm on the lookout for. But the pattern is great. It's a big color block pattern. The size XL is really good. And that's not the material, but the sub-brand of the Spirit jersey is a good one. So if you're selling Spirit jerseys and you're having good luck, just put in the comments, let me know. But I also have pretty good luck with those. So there are a few things that I'll make an exception to the rule for, especially if I know I can sell and make decent money. $39.99. Got that at the bins. Okay, I picked this up at City Thrift. Burberry Brit. Looks very basic, right? Very basic. It's like a flannel plaid Oxford shirt, but it's a thin material. So going over the 4 keys, Burberry Brit. Always look. Be careful though. Make sure you're doing a double check on the tags to make sure it's legitimate, because they are often faked. So you want to just double check all the tags, make sure it's good to go. You don't want to get in trouble for selling fake stuff, right? You only want to sell the best quality stuff. So, okay, 4 keys, the brand, Burberry Brit, great stuff. The pattern, it's this great bright blue kind of Burberry plaid that they have. The size is excellent, double XL. I always do great with these larger sizes, right? And the material is, it's just cotton, but it's a very thin, basic cotton, but $70, right? That was a great find. Thank you, City Thrift. All right, here's a more vintagey, preppy look. Polo Ralph Lauren. Love the brand. So the tags, you got to know the tags for Polo. Polo by Ralph Lauren is like a 90s, 2000s Polo tag, right? This is a pretty popular look and style right now. It's this kind of preppy tennis sweater vest. Has that big blocky V-neck coloring on the top. Just a men's knit. I try to stay away from white items, but this was in excellent condition. My problem with white is that I don't usually see the I don't usually see the flaws until I get it home under certain light. But this was in excellent condition. The other thing I don't like about white is all my pictures are on a white background, so sometimes it's hard to get a good picture of it. But $60 for this Y2K preppy tennis sweater vest, Polo by Ralph Lauren vintage. So if you see those, scoop them up, guys. $60, great sale. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water. Okay, so here's a brand that I've never sold before. Not even sure if I've ever found it before. Snap-on Tools, right? I think it was like a Sears brand. This is kind of like a Carhartt Dickies style canvas jacket. Really thick. It's lined, as you can see. A lot of patches on it. A couple of little pockets there. A nice lining, right? Very basic work jacket. Big embroidery on the back. Snap-on Tools. American flag patch. So Snap-on is not a normal clothing brand that I pick up. Size medium. Again, I'm usually looking for large or extra large, but the quality of this jacket was amazing. It's a great work jacket. And I used Google Lens and found out that these were selling for $60 to $75. So this one you see here sold $75. A great find. Don't skip over some generic brands sometimes if the quality is there and it just feels like a good item. It doesn't hurt to look it up. Worst case scenario, you just leave it behind. Okay, and my best sale for the month was this Moses Malone. It's not vintage. It's this kind of like throwback look. If you know Mitchell and Ness, they kind of make this throwback nostalgia style pro sports gear, right? I think they might sell it at is it PacSun or one of those stores? One of those mall brands sell it. You can buy it online also. This is just a kind of vintagey looking throwback Moses Malone jersey. It was a 3XL. Let's see if I can find the size. Oh, here's the sizing chart that said that the 58 was a 3XL. So $60, very lightweight. It's just this mesh red basketball jersey. It was in great condition. It's embroidered. So that was a great sale. And cheap, I picked it up at the bins. So $60. So all in all, the month of April was really good. Those were just my top 20 sales. But again, I sold 106 items for close to $3,000 doing this part-time on eBay. Make sure you're following the keys, the 4 keys, the brand, the pattern, the material, the size. You stick with that. You know your brands. You educate yourself. And keep an eye out for some stuff if it's basic but it looks like good quality. You'll definitely have good luck. If you did this full time, I think you can make some good quality money. And if you just need a good amount of money on the side part time, I'm telling you, this is the way to go, right? All these items sold for $25 or more, and it was a great month. Some of them I didn't show you, like this picture, because it's not clothing. One other thing that I sold that I didn't show was this Lego minifigure lot, which sold for $35. I tried to just focus on clothing. But thanks again, guys. I'll have another video coming out tomorrow of my haul this week. I appreciate all of you that have checked out my videos, liked the videos, subscribed to the videos. We're up to 250 subscribers, which to me is amazing. Been just going for about 3 months. I really appreciate the support. Every time I get a comment, a like, or a new subscriber, it just really motivates me. So thank you guys. I'll check you out tomorrow in the next video.